Confirm if you can see my screen, please. All right. Let me confirm that I'm still recording. Yes, I'm recording. All right. Welcome back to class today. This is where we stopped in our. Before moving forward, this brought us to a point we need to have a database before proceeding. This one we use it for the basic, for understanding of basic APIs, how to get a user, how to get something from database, and how to set up a server. This is what we just did here, and we set up our package.json file here. So before we move on, we have to connect to a database before we can do any other thing. So as it is now, we are going to create an account, and for the sake of this course, we are going to MongoDB. That is the database we are going to use. So I don't. Who doesn't have a? Who is with his? Who connected to his machine? I mean the system. Your laptop. Who is with his system connected here? Please, if you are with your system, drop a thumbs up. Because me, I have the database already. So I want someone to share screen so that I can guide you through, so that others, when watching the video, they will follow from the beginning. So if you are with your system, please indicate so that you can share your screen. We are using MongoDB, sir. That is what we are using for this class. MongoDB database. And it's MongoDB Atlas in the crowd. Some people do use MongoDB Compacts, but I prefer using the one in the crowd, pushing everything I'm doing there. The Compass, after building your application, you have to now do everything and push it there again. So I didn't see any need. But some say because of internet connection, you use and work offline before you now push your work to the internet to reduce their data costs and so on and so forth. But I prefer this method, MongoDB Atlas. So I'm waiting for someone to have connected to the system to share your screen. Who is that person? Please indicate. Or both of you don't connect with your system. Let me know if so that I can. Let me just go ahead and do it, because that is what we are treating today. To create an account with MongoDB and then get our connection stream from the MongoDB to connect with our application. Because by our next class, we'll be starting something different than the basic we did before. So I don't want us to be using stack data as we did here. These ones, they are just stack data we are using an array to get a user, for example sake. So by next class, we'll be start by maybe creating a product. Yes, create a product, you get a product, and then what if you want to get it one product? How are you going to do? Yes, that time we'll get product by ID. There are so many methods. We get product or even user, then we update products, we update user, which by using puts. If you are updating a specific parts, then we now use patch to limit some updates, but the specific one you need. So are you people connected with your phone? Because I'm not seeing someone to indicate. Please, NK, please, what is that your name again? Steve, are you with your laptop or you are on mobile? The reason is this. I have, okay, please, sorry, that your name. Lillian, am I right? Lillian, is that the correct pronunciation? Please, if I mistake, okay, thank you. But if I mistake calling it, please forgive me. I am on mobile. Okay. But they just explain how to register. All right. Okay. By so doing, I will now proceed to open my Google Chrome. That is the browser I use. Coming here, this is the step in MongoDB account. First of all, I will type MongoDB. It's even suggesting for me there. Then I will accept this URL. This is the URL for MongoDB if you want to register as a new user. So as it is, I'm going to accept it now. So it will take me to the registration page. So when I hit enter, it will take me to the registration page, which is here. So if you don't have account with MongoDB before, this is where you are going to set up your account. You fill all this information here. You fill all your information here, and then create your account, create your Atlas account. That is it. So this is where you will sign up. But if you want to use your Google account, you can still use it to sign up by clicking this button here, this link here, and it will use your Google account to create an account with MongoDB Atlas for you. So for me, I have already have my MongoDB account. I've already have my MongoDB account. So I will be okay. That's Steve. I am with my laptop, but I have set up MongoDB Atlas before. I used it for something. Okay. Yeah, you are still on the same page with me. You still have an account with it, so there is no need. Or let me just proceed. So you sign up using your Google account. So after signing up, you now do whatever you want to do, which we're about to do like this. But for me, I have the account, so I'm going to sign in here. When you click the sign in button, it will now direct you to the sign in. So I will now use my Google account to sign in. The reason why I advise you using Google account to sign in is, as a developer, when working with other companies, as a backend developer, they will give you all the information you needed to know in their organization, like the email, the password, and all of that. So if you are using email, so the company will now give you the email and the password so that you'll be logging into their database, whether being it MongoDB, MySQL, Postgres SQL, and so on and so forth. They will give the login details and the secret pin for you. So that is the reason why I use Gmail. But depends on what the company wants. If the company wants you to use your GitHub, it's fine. So you can, any of them, you can go with it. So I choose my Google account, which I'm going to open with. Sorry, just a minute, I'm coming. So that's great. I'm back. So this is it here. For me, I have accounts and I have some projects which I've already working on them. So for you, as a new person signing up with MongoDB, your page will be different. So I'm going back here. See this place here called Atlas, this MongoDB Atlas, the icon here, the logo. You click on it. When you sign it, your page will be different with mine. So I'm clicking here to go back to the, let me see, home page, because this is what you will see when you come sign up. It will direct you to the home page. Yes. So you don't have anything like all this project you are seeing down here. You will not see them. So now your own thing to do inside this place now is that you want to create a project. You want to work on a project. So by so doing, you need a database, which is any one of your choice, depending if it is your personal project, depends on you and what is the project all about. You determine the database you are going to use. If if it is you which of the database they want to use. So you will go ahead. If it is MongoDB you use, if it is MySQL, PostgreSQL, and whatever. But knowing how to set one MongoDB account and work with it is more easier for you to work with other database too. They are similar approach, just that different syntax. Yes, that is the difference. So when you reach this place, your own focus is to create a new project. You can see my cursor here. Create new project. Create new project. Then you click on it. That is the first thing you will do here. Coming down here, create a project. Give your project a name. You will give a project name here. Being it anything you feel like, you call it here. In this place will be your project name. So for now, I will advise you keep everything as it is. After inputting your project name, you keep everything as it is, and then come down and next for the project. So when you click next, it will now take you to this place. This place now is telling you to add members and set permission. Give your members access permission below. Here and do whatever permission or whatever witty you want to do. Like the project owner, you come here and give permission to your user, or you add user by clicking up here or whatever. But for now, you are just learning, so you don't need any member to add. You don't need any member to add. You don't need any member to add. So you will go ahead and create. You go ahead and create projects. What am I seeing here? Sorry, I'm checking. It's like I'm creating the project inside another project. That is what I'm checking here. And I don't want to do that. Okay. Sorry, I'm coming. Okay. Okay. We are good. So we come back to this place. You carry me back again. You are welcome. So I'm taking it back again. You click on MongoDB Atlas. You click on new project here. As you see my cursor, you create new project, which you give it a name by giving it any name you want. After that, you next leave everything default. You next When next you leave this one default, you are not adding any member to your projects. But if you are working for company and they ask you to set and they ask you to add some members, you go ahead. But for now, it's for learning sake, so we are not adding any user. You go ahead and click create project. So now we are creating a project, as you can see. When I click on that, it's now it gives me a chance to create a cluster. Which I'll be using in my database. What does clusters do? Or what does clusters mean? Clusters create multiple or have multiple databases. For example, if you are the owner of, let me say, Facebook, and you want to now come up with WhatsApp, and you are still the owner, you can use one cluster and create multiple database inside. But the situation whereby you are working with different companies, you are working with Mr. A as a company, you are working with Mr. B as a company, then in that situation, you have to create database account for each of, if you are asked to create account for them. But in some situation, the company will create its own database and share the details with you, the password and all of that, the mail to log into the database, whatsoever they need you to use in that project, they will share with you. So again, if you are working with different companies, this cluster, it accepts many databases inside. But if you are working for different companies, it's advisable each company has its own database. Because when you create the database and then send information to them, the owner of that database, when he log into that account, is going to see, okay, like for example, you are creating a product of, let me say, a fintech product, like different products, and the other company as well, maybe that one is fintech but is for medicine or chemist or whatever, or hospital. Or let me say you are creating using telemedicine application, you are building a telemedicine application for them. So when they come into the database, they will be seeing that other company information inside the same cluster. So that is the reason why it's not advisable for you to use the same cluster for different companies. But the cluster can accommodate many databases. So now I will go ahead and create a cluster by clicking create. So what it will take you to this place. This is where it will take you. And there are several things down here. But first, you see all these packages here. This one is for paid. This one also too is for paid. This last one here is free. So if you as a backend developer or as a developer, some companies, like let me say some company have investors, or they just ask you to build a website for them. They told you what to do for them, being it a telemedicine application, e-commerce sites, being it EduDot's website, any type of application they ask you to build for them. They will not give you money at that movement. Some, you ask them to make deposit, yes, but you as a back-end developer, the deposit is for what you are working, your workmanship or some other things. If, as the case may be, sometimes they ask you to buy a domain name for them. If it is somebody that is not don't have much knowledge about how it works, for a new person that on a website, you are not going to use that money to pay for database account for them. What you do is you use this free version. You click on it and it's highlighted. You go ahead and create your account. These two here, this one and this one, they are paid version. You pay, you pay as they are working, they are giving their service to you. They are hosting your database to your website. So you can see up here that is you are going to pay $0.09 for each hour. This second one is you are going to pay $0.011 per hour dollars. That is what you are going to pay. So for 30 days, you can see the amount here, up to $30 per month. And the other one as well. So you are not going to use your money to pay for this. You first of all use this free version for you running your application, running your server. Test, you create a product, you create a user, you sign in user, you update user. So many things you do using this free version. Because you'll be sending when you are creating user, you are sending something to the database, which we mean by post. You are posting something to the database. When you log in user, you are going to interact with the database too. So all of this, you are not going to use the paid one. That's why MongoDB provides this free one for developers to be using. So when you pick the free version, leave everything here down as it is. Leave it as default. And then go ahead and create deployments. Yes. Now they ask you to do authentication here, which is your work as a backend developer. So they asked me to choose on things here, which they have. Click to verify the ones, okay. Images with cars, okay. Going to tick them. Tick anyone with car. Which one again? This one here. And verify. Yes, it's up now. So this is another step. This step now is asking you to connect to Cluster. This step is asking you to connect to Cluster. So when you read here, you see some information, add connection, IP address. But for up here, it's giving you 3 steps, which one says set up connection security, choose a connection method, and connect. After doing these 2 steps, setting the security, choose a connection method, and then connect, which is where you get your connection stream to your database, what we end to connect with database. So, but you can do it here. You can do it here. But I don't do it here. I prefer doing it in the other way around. If you do it, it's still fine. It's good. I close now. I will see. Then you come this come with that. Or you have that. Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me? Okay. Let me proceed. So you come back here. It was lagging before. Okay. But can you see my screen right? Okay. So I will come back here in this place and then click on network access. Network access. This network access, this is where you permit your database to be used anywhere. Because you can see now I have an IP address here, which is 102.91.4.206/32. Your current includes your current IP address. But this one now, even if I go ahead and get my connection stream, I can use it for now, but maybe later you come back to push something to the database. It will be giving you some errors, telling you that you are using an account that the IP address is not whitelisted, or undefined messages that you will be struggling with. So when you reach this point, you come to this place here, add IP address. You click on it. When you click on this IP address, this window will come out. When it comes out, you click on allow access from anywhere. Click on it. So the IP address for allowing access from anywhere is this 0.0.0.0/0. This is the IP address that allow access from anywhere. This is the IP address that allow access from anywhere. When creating this account, MongoDB account, or creating a database account, and you miss this step, MongoDB will be giving you some errors. Because if I create it without doing this, I can use it for now. Maybe I off my system, go to the last, when I come back to continue my work, and I try to push something, my server will not run. Or my server will run, but it will crash. Because of what? My MongoDB did not connect it successfully. And it will give me an error pointing to my MongoDB account. So By doing that, that's why I come here to allow access from anywhere. So I'm going to now confirm it by clicking here. You see it's pending down here. And my address here is different with the default one they gave me when I create Crosster. You can see the difference here. And include your current IP address. So you can go ahead if you want. You delete this old one. If you want to leave it, doesn't matter. But for me, I will delete it because I don't need it. So this one now is okay for me. That's number one step. When you finish that one, still come back to this place. Database access. Before we use network access, but now we're going into database access. Click on it. It's open. And it's showing you to now create a database user. Create a database user. No. I will delete it after. So it's asking you to create a database user. It's still here. Sorry for that. I talk. I must continue with that there. Well, if I'm done, I will delete it. No problem. Well, that is not the one I want to use. So I will go to my class 2 database. Sorry, that one is not for you, but I didn't set it. That's why it's coming up there. So apology for that. You click on database access. We are done with network access, so I'm going to the network database access now. So this is where I will create a new database user. So I will click on this. So when I click on it, this is the page that will appear when you click on it. So you follow the instruction here. Already is selected for you here for the authentication method, which is what? You are not using certificate, you are not using AWS or any other one, but you are using this password. So make sure it's here. And by default, when you click create user, it will come to this password. So now, you are going to now enter your username. Is anyone having network challenge as well? Please confirm if you are still seeing my screen or anything happened, because I see someone complaining. It's still showing, you are seeing it and you are hearing my voice. Please drop a thumbs up because someone is complaining of network issue. Yes, you can. I can see your screen from here. All right, that's good. Lillian, you check whether it's your network. So coming back, you have to enter your database username here. Enter your database username here, which you click here, and then put your name here, which is your database username. Please, for the past experience I have, don't use numbers. Don't add numbers. Don't add numbers. Don't add numbers. Because when I started, I have issue with that. Inputting, let me see, especially the password. Yes, especially the password. I put numbers and I have issue when connected. It may connect, but returning back next time to work, it will now give you some errors. It will give you unnecessary errors that you didn't expect, and it will cause you delay when you are working. So please, I advise not to use password that has numbers. Please, when you are creating this password. So after putting my username, I will come down here and put my password. What can I put now? Anything, let me see it. Yes, that is my password. And I will copy it here. Make sure that you copy your somewhere. Make sure that you copy your password somewhere. Because the reason why I close that other tab, which it gave me to do all this, I told you that I will do it in the other way around. When you do this, some people doesn't know. They will tell you that, yes, the moment you forget this password, you are not going to access it again. And it's true, you cannot access it. But you can still come back here and reset another password. When you come to the MongoDB access, database access, you will still come back here. But that time, you can't change, you can't edit your username again. What you edit is only the password. Then when you edit it, keep note of the password. When we get connection stream, I will show you where you are going to put that password. So anytime you forget that password, you have to log into your database account, log into that database you created, and then come here and reassign password to your database. I hope I made myself clear with that. So that is all about that. I will proceed, but for me, I will copy my, okay, I'm still using the same thing, the same username as password. So, but I prefer you should copy it. If you have somewhere to save it in case of next time. So I copy mine. Then I will now proceed. User description, optional. You go down, and here, this particular place, built-in row, you are going to select one. So I'm going to click here, add built-in row. When I click here, a drop down will come, and I'm going to select one of these. I prefer selecting read and write to any database. Read and write to any database. If you choose only read any database, it will only read so I choose this read and write to any database. Some people choose admin, but that is for you. It depends on what you want to do. But sometimes it may give you errors and all of that. So I choose read and write to any database. I click on it and it's selected, you can see it here. Once selected here. So you leave any other thing default, and then you come down here and add user. I'm going. What is that? Can your password? Change your password, okay? It's asking me to change my password, but it's created. I added a user. You can see it down here. I added a user here. So whenever you want to, if you forget your password, so you want to reassign password again, because when you forget the password, that is the end of it. You don't forget the password and your database will not work. If you put anyhow password, it will give you an error. So the password, which we, as we proceed, I recommend that you should keep it somewhere. Somewhere on your system, or you copy it from somewhere so that you won't forget it. So, but the situation whereby you forget it, you come to this place, the same database access, we are still there. You come here and edit. It will now give you the same page we just fill and add user. It give you updates, not add user again. Instead of you coming back to database user and you are still working on the same, preferably you come to edit and then get receive. You put in another password and then update it and use that updated password in the connection stream you are using before. Does it make sense? Any question? If there is no question, drop a thumbs up so that we proceed. If there is no question, drop a thumbs up so that we proceed. Okay. Mr. Elia, sorry, your network today is not smiling. So after creating, setting up your network access and database access, we now proceed to where we get our connection stream, which is here. Come up to this place, you use Crosters. Click on Crosters. Click on clusters and wait for it to load. As you can see, mine is coming up. Yes. When it's done, this is the page you are going to see here. This is the page. This is the page. This is what you are going to see. So, by doing that, you come to this place. Connect. As you see my cursor moving here, this is where you are going to click connect. You click here and it will take you to this place. You can see that we still come back to this particular place. It tells us to set up the security, which we have done. It marks here. The second one is to choose the connection stream. Where do we set the security? in that database access, which we set password and the username, that is where we set the security. That's why you are seeing here ticked, is marked. See the remaining two, they are still showing 2 and 3. So now, which connection method are you going to choose here? If you remember, I told you earlier that some MongoDB Compass, which is this one, they use it to work offline, and after doing everything, they now push it to MongoDB Atlas. They connect it to the Atlas, which is hosted on the cloud. But for me, I prefer using the one in the cloud. That's why I'm using this. So by choosing the connection, yeah, it's not connecting on my end anymore. Sorry for that. But the video is there for you. You can rewatch it after when your network is good. So for me, I use the one on the cloud, which is MongoDB Atlas, and I use this. When using the one on Atlas, you choose this connection method, driver, your Atlas data using MongoDB's native drives, e.g. Node.js, Go, etc. So this is the connection method I'm going to choose, this first one here. So I'm going to click on it. When I click on it, it's there. So this is where we are going to get our connection string. When you click on it, it will take you to this place. Leave everything as a default. This particular place now, this one here, this is your connection string. This particular place, this is your connection string here. This is what is going to connect you with your database. When you paste this in your integrated environments, which I use VS Code, Visual Studio Code, then this will connect you to your database. But remember one thing, put it at the back of your mind. Maybe someone will go offline and will start running the server that is building to put something to the database. When you are not connected to the internet, it will be giving you a MongoDB error, database error in your terminal. Whenever you are running your it in VS Code or in Git Bash or in any of the terminal you are using to run your server. So remember to connect to internet before you run your server. When you are using connection string, when you are connecting to MongoDB using the Atlas connection string. But if you are running your server without a database connection like this one on the cloud, yes, it can run fine. But when you connect the string to your database, remember to be connected on the internet before you do that. So for here, after closing this tab by clicking done, you are not going to see this connection string again until you go to MongoDB clusters in the name or the database account you created, that you can get this connection string. So make sure you copy it here This is where you copy it. You can highlight it and copy. You can copy it here once by clicking this place. So I'm going to copy my own. Click here and copy it. So I will leave this place like this. I will go back to my VS Code and then paste my connection string there. So this is my VS Code. I hope you can see it. This is my VS Code. What we did is that we set up our server. This is it. Server.js. This is our entry point. I explained this one in the previous classes. So this is our server. And we have some files here, package.json, package log.json, and node_modules. So this time around, after doing all this basic, we have to start something, pushing something to database, creating something to database, creating products or creating user, registering user. So we cannot use stack data to do that. So we have to connect to database so that everything we are doing will be storing in our database. So now I'm going to click here. But before I will click here, there is some point that beginners get confused with. See this particular place here. We call directories. This is your project directories. Project directory. This particular place. If I click on it, you see how it's highlighted. You see how it highlighted. This particular place. This is how it's highlighted. So we call it directory. So make sure that you click and it's highlighted like this before you create any file, depending on where you want the file to be. But for now, this particular file I'm going to create now, I don't want it to be in any folder. I want it to be in my project folder so that my server can access it. So I will click here, it will highlight and show me that yes, I am in my main project. If I click on this node_modules, it's going to create this file inside this folder, but I don't want it. The file usually appear here in the main folder for your project. So I'm going to go ahead and click here to create a file. What is the name of the file? I'm going to call it .env. That is the name of the file. So when I type that .env, that is this full stop dot. The dot we use for full stop, .env. That is what we are using to create the file. So I will hit enter and the file is created. You can see that the file is inside my file directories. As we move on, the reason why I'm saying this now, you'll be having folders upon folders inside this your project folder. You will still have folders inside here, which some files here like the server file .js, the .env, the package.json, and you will get another file called .gitignore. They do not have to be in any folder. They be in the folder that your application is running on, which is the main folder for your application. So that is the reason why I started explaining now. Because when we proceed and you'll be seeing the way I'm doing, but you will mistake and create another file inside another folder, which you'll be running your server and the server will be giving you error. Believe you me, you spend 1 month, 2 months, weeks, days to try get where your error is coming from, but it will be from your file directories. So that is the reason why I'm explaining that now. Okay, let's move on. I'm going now to my .env file. In my .env file, I'm going to create a name here, which I will call it MongoDB. MongoDB underscore URL space equal to. Now, the connection string I copy from there, I'm going to paste it here. This is where I'm going to save that my connection string. But that is a string, so I have to put it in quotes. If you don't put it in quotes, when you try to run the server, the MongoDB will be giving you error. The server will be sending you error. It cannot run because your connection string has to be a string. So how do you make it a string? This is how you are going to make it a string. Putting it in a double quote. That is what makes it a string. So now I'm going to paste in there. That is my connection string. If I remove this double quote now, and remove this one. Sorry, let me even undo self. If I remove this and paste it, do you see how it look like? Even without running the server, it's showing you that this is not a string, because you can see the way it's appearing, white and colored. But when I put it in double quotes, now, when I put it in double quotes, you will see that, Jesus, oh my God, sorry, I'm coming. I miss the connection string, so I'm going to copy it back again. You go back to my MongoDB. You can see that I won't close this tab for now. It's because of this kind of error now. You see that I mistakenly copy another thing. So I missed the connection. So had it been I close it, I have to go back to MongoDB cluster to come here. So, but now I will copy it when I'm done before I can close that tab. So I will come back here and paste it again. When I'm done with that, you will see that you see this particular place. See this particular place I highlighted. This is where you put your password. This is where you put your password. But for me, I give it the same password as my database name. You can see this one here. This is your database name. So make sure this column here, you leave it there as it is. This at here, you leave it as it is. This at cluster, leave it there. Don't delete the at. Delete the greater than sign down to this less than sign. This is it here. This particular one. See it here. This is what you are going to delete by putting your password like that. This is how my password look like. Please don't use numbers when creating this password, because it will give you errors, unnecessary errors, which will be struggling up and down and that. So this is where you put your password, this particular place. But leave the @ symbol. Leave the @ symbol. Are we together? Please drop a thumbs up, or if you have any question, you can drop before we proceed. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we get our connection string from MongoDB Atlas. And this is how we use it. Where are we going to store this connection string in our application is through .env file. You create a variable name here, MongoDB_URL, and then save this inside here. So this is how we do it. So now, moving forward, we come back to our server here. We come back here. Now here, I want us to connect to our database. Even though as we connected, we put it here, it's not yet connected to the database. Please make sure you save the file after putting this connection string .env file. Make sure you save it. So we come back to our server.js, which is our main entering file. So we are going to now connect to our database, which in our package.json file here. Oh my God. In our package.json file here, you see we have dependency here, and we have depth dependency. In the previous classes, I explained what dependency means. Dependency are what your application depends on it. And for here, our application depends on this express. We are building our application, that is what we are using. So now we have to connect to database. So we need another package which our database will depends on. We need another package which our database will now depend on. So what is that package we are going to use? The package is called Mongoose. So we are going to install it here by going into our terminal and then installing the package before we move. So coming in here, make sure that your file paths here in the terminal. I'm in the terminal now. See where my cursor is moving. Make sure here that you are in your folder, your project folder. You can see my here. So I'm going to go ahead and install package. How are we going to install package? npm install mongoose. This is how we install it. So now, that is not only the database or the package we are going to install here. There is another package we need to enable us that this our .env file we created and store something work, communicate with our server. What is the package that will do that for us? That package is called .env. Look into my terminal. .env. This is the one I'm referring to. Env. So you can install multiple packages at the same time. npm install, which you can use the short form I, but it will still work the same thing. So I'm using npm install mongoose. I give space .env file. Now I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard and it's going to install. You can see how it's installing in my terminal now. What is this? Okay. No message. Let me try it again. Oh, it's on my file. So no need. It's on my file. So I will still try it again. Inside my terminal, I will now try to install it one by one because sometimes it happens like that. I'm trying to install Mongoose now and see whether it will work. Yes, Mongoose is installed. You can see that I have it in my dependency here. My Mongoose is installed. So I will still go back in my terminal and install .env file. .en. Oh, I see the reason why it did not install that time. It's because I misspelled the .env. Instead of putting env, I put v before e. So that is the reason why. It's now that I see. So I will now install the .env file again. Yes, you can see env is also in my dependency. So when developing in backend, you install application depends on your needs. You install application depends on your needs. So now, these are the packages we need so far for now. As we are moving forward later in the class, we will have some other packages to install. But for now, this is what we need. So I will head back to our server.js, and this time I want to run my server. I want to run my server and see whether it's working. Oh, I will cancel this. That is not this command I want to start with. I have two commands there, but I want to use the node mode so that it can help me to restart my server anytime I make changes. So I will now use the node mode to run the server. Yes, my node mode is running the server now. So my server sorry for that break. So my server is now running on port 5000, which you can see here. So we go ahead and connect to database, which I will say Mongoose. Sorry. I can still do it there, but for beginner's sake, let me Look at the top here. Look at the top here. I have to bring in Mongoose inside here. I install it. I install it. It's in my package.json file. But I want to bring in Mongoose in this server.js because I want to use the Mongoose. So I will now ask in Mongoose, come into this file. I want to use you here. Mongoose. Accept it, and it's installed. It's imported. This is how we install something. We import, rather. So when you see that I import without using it down here, you see that it's fade. It's not like the express one. So you take note of all this. So now I'm going to use it here, which I will say mongoose dot connect, which I will accept. My Emmy is suggesting for me. So this dot connect is a built-in function by Mongoose. So what does Mongoose does? Mongoose helps us to connect to database, help us to create a schema, help us to create a model, and it also do let me say it validates. Yes, it also validates, because when we are creating model, you will see where Mongoose help us to validate some field which we need. So the mongoose.connect is a built-in method by Mongoose. So we are going to call here. We're going to call the function here. And inside this function, what are we going to pass there? What are we going to pass there? In this one, we are going to something like the connection stream, which we copied earlier. This connection stream. This is what we are going to pass in. Going to pass in. Before we pass in, we have installed another package, which is .env. And the .env is the one that helps us to connect the server and the .env file. So by so doing, we are going to bring the .env here. Where Mr. .env, come inside my application and help me to manage this application. .env from .env. You see that my Emmy is suggesting here. But if you don't have any package installed and you are trying to import, it will not suggest. It will not come up here. Maybe it will be suggesting different thing entirely. It will not be here. So I'm going to click on it and accept it, and it's there. So now, after accepting it, we come down here and then configure it. There are two different things here. In .env, you are seeing .env here. So this .env you are seeing here, I create a folder called for the file is dot, which we call it period or full stop here. Sorry. So These two file, these two names, they are different. The .env file here is the package you install. The .env here is the file you created, which we create to store some secret files, some secret information inside here. Some secret information inside it. So the difference is this one is .env file. This one here is .env package, enabling us to use this file. Without connecting or configuring this, you cannot be, the server will not see this file to use. How are we now going to connect or configure this? We are going to configure this .env, which is there, we accept it, and then put .config. And .config is a method from .env which it allows us to configure the .env to see the file, this .env file. So by so doing, I'm going to call the function like this. This is how we call it. This is the algorithm. This is how we configure it. Some persons do, they will configure it input on the same line, but it will still work. But I want to do it in such a way that you will see how I imported it and how I configure it. So when I configure, you see that the .env file now, the .env I imported, which is the package, now change. So my server will now see the file, which is .env. Remember, I said that there are different things altogether. The .env here is the package that enables us to use the .env file. Please take note of that. So coming down, having imported the mongoose and the .env and configured the .env package to see our .env file in our application. Now, we are going to pass a parameter here. What are we going to pass it? We are going to pass this variable here. We get our connection string from the database, and then we now store it inside this variable name called MongoDB _URL. So I will copy the name, come back here, and then use process dot env dot, then I will now paste in my connection string. What am I trying to do here? I usually copy to avoid some spelling error. That's why I'm copying it like this. So I will come back here. I will try to do like this, paste it again to be sure. So here, what am I trying to do? I ask Mongoose to connect to my database. So particular time, I'll now say process.env.mongodb _URL. Go into .env file, look into it and get me MongoDB _URL. So it's pointing to this file and this variable name here. So it will get our connection string from here and then give it to our server to connect to the database. That is just what I did on this line. Remember, I told you Mongoose is the one that helps us to connect to database. It do more than this. But at this point, we are connecting. The .connect is a built-in method, which in here I'm saying process.env.mongodb_UI, which is where I store my connection stream from the database. So this is what this place means. Process.env. Go into .env file, look into it, and get me this MongoDB_URL. So this time my database is connected. So if I save, look in my terminal, it's running fine. If you can see, when it's run before, it's say that server is running on port. And now it's still showing the same thing, which my server is running. You can see it is hanging here. I'm in my terminal now. You can see it is hanging here. That's me, my database connected. But now, how can I know that my database is connected? No message, nothing. How will I know that my database is connected? By doing that, I will come here. Which is .then is the promise from JavaScript, which I'm going to give it. It is a function. So in this function, now, we now pass in something. If I want, okay, let me do it this way. If I want, I will do it this way. There are so many ways to do something. Sorry. So inside in here, I will pass in an arrow function in here. I will pass in an arrow function here, which it will help me to bring out that my MongoDB is connected, which I will say CLG, which is console log, and then I will say MongoDB MongoDB connected successfully, or connected. So you can see in here, it's giving me error, showing line. But what do I supposed to do? This particular place, a stream like this, the error message is gone. So when you type it and you leave it as a plain text, it will give you an error. But this time I change it to a stream, double quote. That means something is in a stream. So now I will save the file. Pay attention in my terminal, because my NodeMo is restarting the server, and it will show me MongoDB connected. Perfect. Which now I'm very confident that my MongoDB connected. But before, it was just hanging. So how can I know that yes, it's connected? But now it's giving me a message. And at the same time, that our server is running on port 5000. the MongoDB connected, which our database connected before our server listing. This port is the port that our server is listening to any request that is coming in. So by so doing, I will now copy this. I will cut it off, come in here and paste it inside there and save it again. This will now enable us to connect to the database before our server listing. Yes, perfect. It's here. MongoDB connected and server is running on port 5000. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we connect to database. Any question? Any question? Any question before we draw a curtain? This is how we connect to database. Any questions so far? Are we good? Any question before we call it a day? Is anyone there? Can you hear me? This is what we have learned today. We learned how to create a MongoDB account and create a database account. From there, we set up security, connection method, and get our connection stream, which we bring it here. This will help us to save it here. Remember, this .env file here, I say that is where our secret files are. Anything secret, password, or token, JWT token, refresh token, and everything is going to be here. So this is where we get our connection stream. So please, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we are going to drop a curtain for today. So next class will be on Friday, same time, 7 p.m. See you there. Thank you for joining. Let me stop the recording now.